Hey, how's it going? I'm still Jeremy, and I'm in a hotel room in a town called Iga, Japan. And this was a very, very last-minute decision. I actually just arrived here about 10 minutes ago. Spent all afternoon on trains. I think it was 5 different trains. I kept having to change trains. It's a very, very, very obscure station here. So I spent a couple hours at least on these trains. Here's a quick montage of what that was like. I decided to come here like an hour before I actually left the house, so I had to pack everything real quick. I hope I remembered everything. All I brought was my tech stuff, which is a bunch of tripods and wires and batteries and all kinds of stuff like that. So this is my hotel room. Not much to it, just a little square, but it's got everything you need. There's the bed, there's some art, television, which I never use. There's things to plug in my various USBs, which I'm charging now. There's a nice air conditioner, and that's good because it's very hot. And let's see. What they call a unit bath in Japan, because it's all one little thing with these molded plastic. It's very, very small, but it's got everything you need. And the whole point of this is that the Perseid meteor shower is peaking tomorrow night, which is Wednesday night here in Japan, about 11:40 p.m. But I spent all yesterday and all this morning looking at Google Maps and weather forecasts and Booking.com, trying to find a place that I could get to by train that was dark enough and somewhere that had a hotel that I could get to reasonably for a reasonable price, you know? I couldn't do it. Everywhere that sort of worked in one way didn't work in another way, and I finally came to realize that my cloud app and all the weather apps and stuff, they all said it was going to be pretty much overcast tomorrow, or probably overcast, and possibly even rain everywhere around this part of Japan tomorrow night. Now I started looking at tonight, which is Tuesday night. The skies are going to be pretty clear tonight, and the peak is not as big tonight, but it's still pretty good. I looked on the light pollution map, and this place was not great, but better, much better than Osaka City. And there's a hotel here for cheap. It's like $70 for a night for this hotel, which is average, which is okay, because they got everything I need. There are stores and stuff in town, which was another problem. In some other places, there was nowhere to eat dinner, or not even a convenience store. Now, I wasn't recording when I first came into the room, but I would like to reenact what happened when I saw this window, because I looked at the window and I thought, right outside my window, there's this platform, this part of the building next door. I didn't have to leave the room. I could set my camera here, and so here's let me reenact what happened when I went to check this out a little further. Let me get in character. Okay, here we go. Oops. And actually, through the window, you can actually see part of Iga Castle. I have to go scope it out while it's still light, because I can't do what I originally planned to do tonight. are some restaurants, apparently, according to Google Maps, I think. But I really don't like being out anywhere during the coronavirus, so I probably will just get something from the Family Mart and eat it in my room. Look at this tree. If you're gonna be a tree, I mean, this is the one to be. Okay, we gotta focus though. It's getting a little bit darker and I have to actually find a place to hang out to do this photography tonight. Of course, my Canon camera, even at its widest, can only see a small portion of the sky. So there'll be fewer than one permitted. Now I did scope this out a little bit. I saw somebody else take a photo here on Google Maps. So, perfect. I don't have any of my camera stuff with me now. It's all back in the hotel. Okay, I'm not really here to do regular sightseeing, but this high stone wall, as I was reading a little bit about coming here today, I didn't read a lot of tourist stuff, but this castle is something like there's one of the highest stone walls of any Japanese castle or something like that. I don't quite know what that means, not this one. I mean, I come from Osaka and all. I'm used to some high castle walls. So I'm not sure what that means. Maybe we can go find it real quick before it gets dark. High stone wall, 150 meters this way. I'll be out here for, I think, 2 or 3 hours just sitting around. I loaded up my iPhone with some Beatles music so I can have something to listen to. No one's stopping me this week. I should do the photos here. Alright, what's over the edge? Oh, awesome. Look at that. I'm gonna go, I guess, what time is it? So it's 6:30 now. I will go buy dinner at Family Mart, eat it in the room. Alright, real quick before I get down there, see if I can find some carp in here. Yeah, I don't, probably not picking up on the camera, but I do see a big black fish. See it? Home. And here is dinner from Family Mart in the hotel room. Some pasta, that's the main dish. A Caesar salad, some gobo salad, which is another kind of vegetable thing. Some blueberry yogurt with maybe half of those cashews dumped in, and a chocolate banana pudding cake thingy, whatever. Oh, and some bubble water. And they microwaved it for me. It's hot. Okay, here we go up the big hill. I hope everything is open. It looks very dark, which is good. I bet this is pitch black on this camera right now. Just now I was standing on the sidewalk, looking at my phone, connecting to the camera to do some technical stuff here. And a couple passed by me, and I was kind of in their way, I think. And they said, "Sumimasen," which means like, excuse us, or, excuse me, or whatever. And I didn't even look up. I didn't look at them. I didn't acknowledge them. I just let them pass on by. Because I was kind of used to being in the big city, Osaka, where you pass people all the time and don't think much of it. So a sumimasen might not really warrant a reply, but here, in this tiny small town, I thought, oops, probably I should have said something. Probably seems kind of cold not to say anything. Okay, well this seems open, so everything's okay. The only other factor now is anybody hanging around drinking beer at the spot I want to be shooting in? Because there were some beer bottles there earlier. One other thing tonight, I forgot my headlamp. So, that's pretty irritating. My eyes are really not adjusted to the darkness yet, and I already see quite a few stars. So I think this is an excellent location. Okay. I think I just saw a flash in the sky about 1 minute ago, but I wasn't, of course, it was between when I was filming. But I think, I wasn't looking directly at it, but I think it was probably a shooting star. That's a good sign. Okay, I'm going to go set all this up and maybe narrate the rest, because I will not be able to record audio or regular video for the rest of this. For the next 3 hours or so, or whatever, I will be out here in the warm summer heat. And clouds look good. The sky looks good, no clouds. I'll get all set up and I'll see you later. As I set up the tripod and camera, I noticed 7 or 8 flashes behind me in the sky. I assumed they were meteors, but when you turn your head, they're already gone. The camera picked up a lot of stars, though, and I thought the few clouds would dissipate, but they got thicker. Some awesome images, but not good for a meteor shower. When the sky was almost completely covered in clouds, I angrily looked at the cloud cover app on my phone again. It said the skies should be perfectly clear right now. And then I realized that it wasn't showing me info for Iga, where I was, but a place several kilometers away called Shigaraki. Sigh. I had the place all to myself, though, just me and the mosquitoes, which as usual buzzed in my ears but didn't bite me. About 3 times, small groups of people with flashlights and nets walked by, emerging from the woods like close encounters of the third kind. They were collecting bugs, a common hobby here, especially for kids. I'm not sure any of them saw me. The people, not the bugs, I mean. Anyway, they soon moved on, and I got back to playing air guitar to helter-skelter and getting a sore neck from watching the sky. And the clouds finally went away. With the naked eye, I saw 3 good shooting stars. But the camera didn't seem to catch any. Those streaks are airplanes, by the way. Around 12 o'clock, I called it a night. Alright, well that's it. I think I've had enough. It's just about midnight. I'm going to go back to the hotel, maybe check some of the footage, and anyway, please go here to subscribe to my newsletter, and thank you for coming along on this adventure. Tomorrow I get to go home. I guess tomorrow's vlog will be about that. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. But there was one more chance. Back in the hotel room, I set my camera up at the window, behind the curtain, whose reflection you can still see, and I shot the sky for a couple hours while I slept. The orange town lights kind of got in the way, but there was a chance I could catch a stray meteor if it was bright enough. And looking at the images later, I got excited by this streak, until I looked more closely and saw it was just another airplane. So, the naked eye wins, 3-0. I enjoyed tonight anyway. It's been a really fun trip, and tomorrow I get to explore the town a little bit more, and then make my way back home to Osaka. Thanks for watching the skies with me. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you in this town in the daylight tomorrow morning.